Hi, guys. We are your hosts, Lori.
And Shenisse, certified spiritual life coaches, we're so glad you're here. Welcome to the Unconscious Day series, a series here on Branching In where we talk about unconscious.
Yes, Shenisse, and this is part one. And today we are going to talk about what is an unconscious day exactly and why do we have them. How I define unconsciousness for me is feeling overly connected to all the titles I play here as a temporary human being, like my mother role, daughter role, sister role, overly connected and attached to whatever. Like if I'm having a problem with something, overly attached to the problem, like ruminating, thinking about
Yeah.
it over and over and not being able to get out of my head.
Yeah.
That is very unconscious to me. That's like how I would define unconsciousness. I'm actually like, I'm very stressed. I'm very overstimulated. I am like breathing heavy, and I
Yeah.
just feel uncomfortable. Not I mean, there's uncomfortable, both unconscious and conscious, but it's just heavily uncomfortable, and I result that to feeling overly, connected and attached to an outcome, attached to how I want things to go.
Yeah.
That's really for me, Shanice. How what is it for you? But that's for me. I right then I start becoming aware I'm really having an unconscious moment or day or hour or a week or however long it is.
Yeah. No, I love how you define that. I find those things to be true for myself too. For me, I know I've gone unconscious when I'm on autopilot. And because I have done so much inner work and I've really spent years observing my thoughts, I have so much better idea. So when my brain goes to certain thought loops and I catch it, I'm like, oh, I've gone unconscious because so much of those thoughts are autopilot. The same with emotions. When I'm in a negative thought loop, it causes all of these negative emotions. And so when I catch myself in that, I know that I've gone unconscious. So, yeah, because I have cultivated such a different kind of routine in my life through my inner work, and so when I notice that I'm kind of going backwards or going back into my autopilot programming, I'm like, okay, I'm going unconscious. And so that's kind of what I use. Another one for my body is I notice I'm very tense. I'm like so tense, like my shoulders, my back. I'm very tense. So when I notice I've got knots or I'm just super tense, I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm going unconscious. Because when I'm grounded and I'm aware, I'm so much more just relaxed, free flowing. I'm allowing. And so anytime I'm kind of out of that and I've gone back into anxiety and stress, I'm like, okay, I've gone unconscious. So those are some of mine.
So, Shanice, we've talked about like what an unconscious day feels like and looks like, but let's talk about what causes, like why do we have unconscious moments, days, moments, hours, whatever it is, whether it's a day, a week, an hour, but why do we have them? Let's explore some of that. So for you, what do you feel why you have those unconscious moments?
Yeah. So I mean, this goes for me and this goes for most people. We are born, and from the moment we're born, the societal conditioning begins. Subconscious minds are programs, and it's a great thing. It's how we learn to talk, it's how we learn to walk, it's how we learn to become human, right? But a lot of other things get mixed into that. And we actually talk about this in our book, the Belief Workbook. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, check out our book. But it goes into detail. But it's what it is. It begins the moment we're born. And so for me specifically, a lot of my unconsciousness just came from the way I was raised. And so I was raised Catholic and was kind of taught to abandon myself and to put everyone else's needs above my own. And so that led to years of me really just living my life for everyone else and like struggling with guilt, shame, so many things that just weren't serving me and were causing me to live most of my life unconscious. I didn't love myself. I didn't respect myself. A part of the Catholicism that I grew up in, that was normal. That was what kind of like you were supposed to do. my mom living that life, right? And so all of as growing up, that was all of the programming, all of the conditioning was, okay, this is how you live life. So
You don't
that
even
was
know
it.
you're unconscious.
No, not at all. I mean, that
Right.
was it
I
was
mean, it's
normal.
not like you go, "Oh, I'm unconscious." It's just you're running
No.
off of a program that you will and as children, we do as we see. So,
Yes.
it's like we're not even so it's not so much as they do as we do as we see. So, as we're watching our parents, however they are operating, unknowingly just pick
Take
that
all
up,
of that in. Yeah.
unconsciously. So, we
Yes.
don't know that, it's just happening like an autopilot with not
Yes.
even knowing we're just operating.
And I didn't even think
Right.
to question it. I'm just like, "Oh, this is normal."
No.
And I just assumed that everyone was living their life the same
Well,
way
it
that I was.
also feels normal because that's all you know. So, right? I mean, it's all you know. So of course it feels normal. So this must be normal. Even if it's uncomfortable or whatever, it's still this is what you were taught, this is all you know. And that kind of leads
Yeah.
me to another cause of why I have unconscious days and really have looked at this inside myself is part of that unconscious days. Sometimes, yeah, I want to like cry and moan and complain. I'm acting like a child because of certain things I have not got met in my childhood, some emotional needs that were never addressed. So
Yeah.
that also leads me to some of my root causes of why I go unconscious because obviously I am adult now. I can take care of myself, but I don't always want to because I'm still fighting something that I didn't get that. It's not fair. And
Yeah.
which brings me back to why I have those unconscious days is there's just some things I feel that were not met in my childhood that I have to explore. It actually shows me some areas that I need to kind of go in deeper with.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really is, we call them unconscious days now because we have the awareness that it's slipping into unconsciousness, but as a child, as a teenager, even as a young adult, you don't realize that that's what it is. It just seems so normal, and then add trauma patterns that we experience. Like my mom was in two abusive relationships. I grew up watching that thinking that was normal. Like everyone was in an abusive relationship, like, that's what relationships look like, and so that also learning all of that, believing that it's normal, you then grow up and you make those same choices.
Yeah. And you don't know it's not normal until you actually step out of it. I know myself when I saw myself outside of relationships that were not serving me and watched and felt, I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely normalized that. And that was so unconscious.
Mhm.
And you don't feel the difference. The unconsciousness definitely brings us back to conscious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we need
Yeah, and,
that balance.
my saving grace, this is gonna sound weird, was my pain, my emotional pain. My emotional pain got so bad that I'm like, something had to give, something had to stop. And that's actually what led me because I remember so clearly days in my childhood where, my stepfather was screaming and yelling, and that was kind of just like his normal day to day. I grew up in that environment where I just felt very unsafe every day of my life. And I remember being like, oh, I'm gonna grow up. And because I've wanted children ever since I could remember. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna do that. That like vigor of a child that refuses to, be that person. And so I grew up and I started having my own kids and I started noticing that I was carrying those same patterns. I was the one yelling. I was the one getting angry. And I'm watching myself yell at my kids and I'm horrified because I knew I'm like, if I don't somehow change this pattern, I will become them. I will become my stepfather. I will become all of the worst versions of everything that I witnessed and saw growing up. And so it was that fear and that emotional pain that was like, okay, I need to change this. And I did. I did. And it's possible. It really is possible to change those unconscious patterns. And
Well,
that's what
and
that's what
just
led me.
knowing and also when we're talking about here, Shanice, of why we have unconscious days. First of all, understanding what is unconscious. Exactly. What does that look like for you? And how does it feel for you? So you have that awareness. And then really exploring, like we did for ourselves, is that each and every person can do is why do I have them? It's more about the why.
Yes.
Because until we know the cause, we can't change anything, so the point is, like, why do I have them? And for me, like I said earlier, it was a lot of my unconsciousness is obviously there's programming of I would just watch my parents. That's how they operated. That's how I operated. But also, it was a lot of my own emotional needs that were not met as a child that still needed to be met, which made me come out unconsciously in a lot of things. And maybe I'm playing the victim in my unconscious day and I'm blaming someone else. Again, it's operating like a child. That's pretty much just and it's very helpful to know why I have an unconscious day to get out of that unconsciousness, because if I don't know why, but that actually helped me a lot, Shanice, is learning why I have them and then going in that way with that. And then again, back to me, okay, so that's why I'm having it. That's fine. And now I know why, so now I can do something about it.
Yes, oh my gosh, that's it exactly. It's having compassion for yourself when you catch yourself slipping into unconscious, not blaming yourself, not getting down on yourself because again, we were raised this way. So we need to create so much space for ourselves when we catch ourselves having unconscious moments. And when you can show yourself that grace, it makes it that much more exciting when you catch yourself slipping into unconscious like, oh,
Exactly.
and when you know what it looks like and what it feels like, that's everything because that's how you can catch it. It's like, "Oh, I'm slipping into unconscious thought patterns. Oh, I'm slipping into feeling sorry for myself." Again, it's so nuanced and it looks slightly different for everyone. So you have to figure out what that looks like specifically for you. And then once you see it, once you're aware of that,
Because
then
there's
just keep
patterns, there's habits, there's patterns. You'll see like for myself, right? And Shanice, we've talked about it. It's like you'll just see a repeating pattern
yeah.
that is not doing you any good.
Yep. Yeah, Lori, and what's so funny is to this day, I will catch myself in an unconscious pattern, and I'm just like, "I'm just gonna observe. I don't wanna do anything about it right now."
Yeah, right.
I
And it
don't wanna
right.
fix it or heal
Yeah.
it. I'm just like, "I'm gonna stay in it and, observe it and then kinda see, what."
Yeah, but just knowing it's unconscious, and you can be in it without being it.
Yes.
So,
I love
you know what
that
I mean?
you said that. Yeah, say that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you can be in it without being it. So, now I can be unconscious, but I don't have to it's not me. It's like I feel like being a victim right now. I'm actually feeling life is unfair to me right now. And
Yep.
but deep down I know that's not, super
Exactly.
valid, but it is valid in that moment. It's
Yeah.
like it's just that moment I need to feel that way, which it feels whatever whatever, I just need to be here.
Reason, yeah, I wanna be in that feeling of victim mentality. While still at the same time, like you said, underneath, I know because I'm observing and I have the awareness of observing what's happening, I can be in it without being attached to it, and while still
Yes.
understanding deep down that
That's the
it's
game
just
changer.
a temporary experience. It's just a
That's
temporary.
the game changer of having an unconscious day.
Mhm.
Like, literally, that's the game changer because we're gonna have them. We are going to have unconscious days,
Yes, there's no way around
hours,
that.
moments, whatever they are,
Yeah.
months, whatever, but we're gonna have unconsciousness. But just knowing the definition of what unconsciousness looks like for you, knowing what it feels like, and guess what also? We know it's temporary.
Yes.
Like, because we know there's consciousness right behind that, we're like, "Oh, I can stay here for a little bit and feel my, unfairness or whatever, because this is temporary, but I just need to feel this human emotion right now, whatever it is, even if it is unconsciously derived.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wanna throw
It's okay.
a tantrum and be okay with throwing my tantrum.
Yeah, but doesn't it, Shanice, make it more temporary? Like, it's actually, for me anyway, it's like just I know it's temporary. Just knowing what it is, why it is it's temporary. And I know also I have awareness of what consciousness is, that other feeling of not being in my unconscious moment. And it's like, okay, well, that's just right around the corner,
Yes.
but right now I don't even want that right now.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's so valid. I mean, we're having a human experience, we're having all of these emotions, and it's okay to be in something that doesn't feel good without having to, like, immediately fix it.
Exactly. I think that's
And
usually
yes,
what everybody's response is.
yeah, and knowing it's a temporary experience actually creates space around the feeling, so yeah, maybe I'm in pain and maybe I just wanna be in the pain, but accepting that actually creates space around the pain so that I'm actually
Yeah.
in less pain. It's so
Yeah.
crazy the way that works.
And there's healing in that pain.
Yes. Yes, there's lessons, there's wisdom, there's pearls of grace in that pain. Yes.
And that is the consciousness, back to that. So now when we come out of the unconscious and go back to conscious, that's how we can observe the lessons that we just went through in the unconscious points, because we actually need those unconscious moments. So that we see what you just mentioned, the lessons, but we're not when we're unconscious, we're not talking about lessons at all. There is no
No,
lessons in unconsciousness.
no. No. It really is beautiful because it's like a cycle. It's like when you're up here, you're conscious, right? You're plugged in, you're grounded, you're aware, and then you're gonna slip back into unawareness and unconsciousness. But there's things there that are for you. Like it's not like, oh, you're conscious and you're now like living your best life, and then you slipped into unconsciousness and now you've slid all the way back. No, 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 no. It's all for you. The unconscious days are
Exactly.
for you, the conscious days are for you, it's all for you.
Exactly. And like you said, there's moments you're going to just slip in and out. And that's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
Actually, and each slip is a it's not it doesn't go the same type of slip, because you grow each time, and you pick up, and different moments you need different things.
yeah. Yes, exactly.
All right, so Shanice, we have awareness now of what an unconscious day is and why we have them. And one other thing we can look at as to create more awareness around unconscious days is the intensity and frequency in which we're having them. Have you found that to
Oh
be
my
helpful
gosh,
for you?
yes, because again, the point is not to just be conscious all the time. Conscious is our natural state of being. We are conscious beings. And so in this human experience, we're going to slip in and out of that. And that's perfectly okay. So it's not to be conscious all the time. Like that, we just need to let go of that. It's just accepting where we are in the moment. And so one way to, like you said, to cultivate kind of more awareness around that is really paying attention to the intensity, right? So intensity being on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this trigger? How bad am I triggered right now? And then the frequency, how many times a day? How many times a week? And as you're creating and cultivating awareness, you're going to notice that the intensity and frequency becomes less and less as time goes by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I've definitely noticed that for me, Shanice, that the more inner work I have been doing along the way here and really exploring the root causes of some of my unconsciousness, or, exactly why I have days or moments or whatever, that intensity and the amount of days I have is so lessened. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Will I ever have an
Of
intense
course.
day again? Oh, yeah. But it's the frequency of that. I would say for me, the frequency is definitely lessened. And yeah, the amount of the intensity is not just the frequency of how many days or moments I have, but also the frequency of the higher intensities. It's way lessened. And again, the awareness is what brought me here, because again, like we talked about earlier, I know it's temporary. So, I'm
Yeah.
not in a panic, because it's temporary, which creates
Mhm.
less intensity and less
Yes.
frequency.
Yes, accepting wherever you are in the moment is gonna automatically lessen the intensity of it right away because you're not trying to judge it or change it or make it look like something different. You're just accepting it for what it is, which is it's like just taking a breath.
Yeah. Yeah. Just embracing and
Yes.
moving on and
Yeah.
yep.
So one thing that really helped me, Lori, was this book by Eckhart Tolle that I was reading. And in it, he mentions how the moment you have become aware of a negative state within yourself, it doesn't mean you have failed. It means you have succeeded. And that really helped me so, so much because when I first started cultivating more awareness around my consciousness, I was beating myself up left and right. I was being so hard on myself, getting down on myself, like somehow I had failed for going unconscious. And I can laugh about that now looking back. I'm like, goodness. But it's like, no, I just, that really helped me like, oh my gosh, no, I haven't failed. I've succeeded because every time I catch myself going unconscious, it means I am now becoming aware. And every time I catch it, I'm cultivating more and more awareness. So it's like, okay, I'm just so much more easy on myself now. And I actually get excited because when I catch a thought, an unconscious thought, and I catch myself kind of really going into it, following along, and I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's not me. That's not my thought. It's just like I have more fun with it now. That's what it is. That's the difference. It's before I took it so serious
You change your
and now I have
perspective.
fun with it.
You
I
have
make it
such a different
exciting
perspective.
and I make it something to celebrate. So,
Well, and you come back with,
yes,
you know, it's
all of
for
it.
you. So that point of view changes everything, and I think that really sums up what Eckhart Tolle was talking about, that
Yeah.
everything is for us. So even that becoming aware of that negative state within, that
Yes.
just it's all for us. So that just is so comforting in itself
Yeah.
that, it just makes everything feel a lot better and more accepting of the good, the bad, the ugly, the messy, whatever.
Exactly.
All of it.
Yes. Well put, Lori.
All right. So, okay. So, Shanice, to wrap up this episode, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about what an unconscious day is
Yeah.
for us and exactly like why we have them,
Mhm.
where they come from, and the awareness being that first step to creating whatever you want, looking at things differently by having
Yes.
that first
Your
step.
perspective. Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, I loved this. This was awesome. And for those of you who would like to learn more about us or check out our products and services, you can click the link in the description. And that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to Branching In with Shanice.
And Lori, join us for our next episode. And we do post every Friday. So we'll see you guys then. Bye.